First of all, I would like to say Tashit Delek to Lama Rinchen and all the Sangha members and Dharma friends who are viewing this teaching through online. And today, it's a very, very special day for us. As you know, today is one of the holy day of Lord Shakyamuni Buddha. It is the day that Buddha Shakyamuni came back from Gothram back to noble land of India in a place called Sankisa. Actually, this place is not so far from Delhi. Not so far in the sense it's about 5-6 hours by car. So today is one of the holy days, and it is said whatever we do on a holy day, on a special day, then to the blessing of holy day, whatever we do can multiply it, and whatever action that we do will become more powerful. So if you do virtues, then it becomes more powerful and can accumulate more merit. And if it is non-virtue, then also it will become more powerful and it is more serious. So generally, we need to be careful all the time, and especially we should put extra effort on how we act, how we behave through our body, speech, and mind on such occasion like today. So, as always, first and foremost, we need to develop the right motivation, because the right motivation is the one that can make our virtues, our practice more meritorious. Even if we do a same amount of virtues without right motivation, although physically and verbally we do the same thing, same amount of virtues, but because of differences in the motivation, the one that perform the virtue with the right motivation will earn much greater merit than the other one who has also done the same amount of virtue through physical and verbal actions. So developing the right motivation is very, very important. So it means we need to develop the thought renunciation towards the whole samsara, and then to develop the infinite loving kindness and infinite compassion towards all the sentient beings without any exception or without any discrimination. And then based on this, we need to develop the bodhicitta, wishing and engaging bodhicitta, which means generating a sincere wish to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. And then we need to develop the engaging bodhicitta, which means in order to attain Buddhahood, we really need to engage in the Dharma practice in general, and especially today we are engaging in the teachings of refuge. For example, just by having a wish to go to Bodh Gaya, we will not reach there. After having the wish to go, then we need to put effort, we need to prepare, we need to take leave from job, or we need to buy tickets, or we need to prepare many things. We need to save time, save energy, etc. to go there. And finally, through all these preparations and arrangements, then finally we will be there after a few weeks or months or so. So just by having the wish, one will not reach there. To reach there, we need to put effort. So similarly, just by having the wish to attain Buddhahood, one will not become a Buddha. After having the wish, then to accomplish this goal or to fulfill this wish, we must put effort to fulfill this wish. We must put effort to reach there. We must put effort to attain this Buddhahood that we wish for a long time. So therefore, wishing and engaging bodhicitta are very, very important. If we only have wishing bodhicitta without engaging, then it won't yield a great result. It won't help us to accomplish Buddhahood. To accomplish Buddhahood, we need these two. With these two together, then we can accomplish Buddhahood. So anyway, we need to have the right motivation, and then we need to practice. So today, with such right motivation, we are going to study on the refuge. The great Sakya Pandita said, the teaching that are taught by Buddha and that are collected by the followers, and then there are meditated upon by the great Mahasiddhas, and that are explained by the great Panditas, and that are translated into other language by great translators, and that are well known to all the scholars. Such teachings are authentic teaching. So whatever teaching that we study or we contemplate or we practice must originate from Buddha's teaching. We must have the right source. If the source of this teaching or that teaching is not from Buddha, then it is difficult to prove such teaching is a genuine teaching or authentic teaching in general. So this is in general is like this. So whatever teaching that we have should base on Buddha's teaching, should be according to the Buddha's teaching. So about the refuge, Buddha himself taught in the sutras and also in the tantras about this refuge. So through this way, it proves that this is an authentic teaching. And it is said, however good practitioner you are, if you don't have refuge in the triple gem, then still you are not a Buddhist, still you are non-Buddhist. So just by having a good heart or just by having a positive mind or just by becoming a warm-hearted person will not make you a real Buddhist. Not only that, even though one has faith and belief in the Buddha, if one has not taken the refuge vow, then still one is not a Buddhist. And also, just by being born in the Buddhist family, such child will not become a Buddhist. And also, just by studying in the Buddha Dharma, one will not become a Buddhist. In this world, we can see there are some persons who are scholars, who are professors in the universities, but they are they are not Buddhist. They know about Buddha Dharma. They can teach on Buddha Dharma, but they themselves are not a Buddhist. So just by studying and knowing about the Buddha Dharma will not make you a real Buddhist. And also just by believing in the rebirth, which is one of the fundamental beliefs that we need to become a Buddhist. Even though we have such belief, if we don't have refuge vow, then still we are not a Buddhist. And also, even we have loving kindness and compassion to others, and not only we have or we understand this, but we practice loving kindness and compassion to limited beings. Just by having such thought or practice, it will not make you a Buddhist, because one must have refuge vow in order to become a Buddhist from the method point of view. And also, to become a Buddhist, we need to have refuge vow, which we need to receive through pure ritual, through proper rituals. So therefore, it is very important to take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha based on logical reasons, based on the right cause. Without that, one cannot become a real Buddhist. So this is to say that why we need to take refuge, how important it is to take refuge. Then next one, as I said, taking refuge vow is very important. But at the same time, not all the refuge vows are genuine vow or proper vow. There are proper refuge vow and improper refuge vow. So first, to take proper refuge vow, one must have the thought of renunciation towards whole samsara. If you take refuge vow without the thought of renunciation, then it won't become a right cause of taking refuge vow, taking proper refuge vow. So first, we must develop the thought of renunciation towards whole samsara as the cause, or this is the one that motivates us to take genuine refuge vow. So to receive a genuine refuge vow, we should have thought of renunciation that motivate us to take refuge. And through the thought of renunciation, then we can take genuine refuge vow if this is done through proper rituals and through proper way of doing it. So if you take genuine refuge vow, then one will become a Buddhist. The time that we take refuge vow is the time that we become Buddhist, is the time that we become part of Buddhist family. So this genuine refuge vow is the cause of gaining liberation and eventually to attain the Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. And genuine refuge vow is also the right remedy or right method to remove all the sufferings and its cause, which are non-virtuous deeds. As I said before, there are improper refuge vow. Improper refuge vow means, or impure refuge vow. or non-genuine refuge vow, which means like refuge vow taken out of fear or refuge vow taken in hope for worldly results. So first, the refuge vow taken out of fear means if one does not have sincere faith and devotion to the Triple Gem, and if one does not have thought of renunciation towards whole samsara, and also if one does not have compassion towards all the sentient beings, and also one doesn't have a genuine wish to receive the refuge vow, but one is forced to take refuge by one's own family members or friends or teacher, etc. And if one doesn't take refuge, then one fear that they will scold or they will be unhappy, etc. So out of such fear, if one take refuge vow, so through such way, one can receive the refuge vow, but such refuge vow is not a genuine refuge vow. Such refuge vow is known as the refuge vow taken out of fear. And then second kind of non-genuine refuge vow means a refuge vow taken in hope for worldly results, which means one does not have sincere faith and belief in Triple Gem, etc. as before, but one has to wish to take refuge, but it is not a sincere wish. One wishes to take refuge because through taking refuge, one wishes to gain worldly results or good livelihood or long life, and one wishes to gain wealth and fame and power in this life. So with such worldly intention, if one take refuge, then such refuge vow is known as refuge vow taken in hope for worldly results. So there are three, one genuine one and two non-genuine one. So when we take refuge vow, it is very important to take the genuine refuge vow. And then, as I said before, refuge vow and the teaching on refuge is taught by Buddha himself. In the Tantra, like Samputa Tantra, Buddha mentioned or Buddha taught about the Triple Gem. And also in the Vajrapanjara Tantra, Buddha taught about the Triple Gem or taking refuge in the Triple Gem. Actually, the 7 prayers that we do during the initiation is taken from the Vajrapanjara Tantra. So in the 7 limb, the 4th limb is taking refuge. So both Vajrapanjara Tantra and Sambuddha Tantra are Havajra commentary Tantra. And in these two, it mentions about Triple Gem or taking refuge in the Triple Gem. And also there are other Tantra or sutras where Buddha has taught about the refuge or the Triple Gem. So it proves this is a genuine teaching. And what is refuge? Actually, in Tibetan we call it gyabdo. Gyabdo means go for refuge. How we go for refuge? We go for refuge not just through verbal recitations or not just through paying respect through our own physical body, but mainly we need to take refuge through our mind or through our mental action. The mind should take refuge. The most important is the mind that should take refuge. Otherwise, just paying respect or just reciting the refuge prayer will not consider as a genuine refuge. So, refuge means relying on a superior object or excellent object. By relying on superior object or most excellent object, then it can protect us, it can guide us, it can give us the refuge, or it can help us. So you promise to rely on the supreme or the excellent object, which means we rely on the triple gem. In general, the object of refuge is triple gem or Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So, refuge in Sanskrit is known as Sharanam Gacchami. So, refuge means, for example, when we go out for a walk, or when we are walking outside, and then suddenly, if there's a rainfall, then in order to avoid from getting wet, we need to look for a solution. If we don't rely on anything that can help or any shelter, then we will get wet by the rainfall. So out of fear of getting wet, getting our body wet, we go under the roof, or we go under the umbrella, or we go under the cave, or any shelter. So at that time, the roof or the house or umbrella or the cave are the refuge that help us, that rescue us from getting wet. So similarly, at the moment, we do have many physical and mental sufferings. So in order to rescue ourselves and others from such suffering, we need to look for a refuge. If you don't look for a refuge, then we will continue our suffering. There's no end to the suffering. So in order to rescue ourselves from this suffering, we rely on triple gem wholeheartedly. So we take refuge in them. We submit ourselves wholeheartedly under the guidance of triple gem. So refuge means the one that rescue us from harmful actions, from fears, and from lower realms, or from suffering, or from samsara, etc. So taking refuge in the triple gem is the most excellent refuge. So Therefore, taking refuge is very important. And now, the reason why we take refuge is that we are suffered from all these sufferings, and to rescue from such suffering, only the triple gem is the most excellent refuge. There are no other refuge that we can take, like triple gem. So only these three can rescue us, can save us, can protect us. For example, if we have a good escort, then there's no danger to go through a dangerous place because we have a good escort or we have a good guard who can help us to reach there safely without any problems. So if you take refuge in the triple gem with a genuine cause or with genuine reasons like faith and compassion and belief, etc., then there's no doubt that one can be rescued, one can be protected by such refuge. So, because they can save us, they can guide us, they can rescue us, they can protect us, they can bless us. That's why we need to take refuge. Generally, there are many different kinds of refuge. There are mundane refuge or worldly refuge and super mundane refuge or beyond worldly refuge. So mundane refuge means a job that we cannot do by ourselves, then we need to ask someone else to do. So at that time we are taking refuge in that person. This is a worldly refuge, mundane refuge. This is just an example. So to give a clear example, then for instance, if our car is having some problem, if we need to fix the car, although we can drive the car, but we cannot fix the car. So we need to ask someone else to fix the car. So when we ask that person should have the wish to fix and ability or should know how to fix and should have the power to fix. If that person have these three, having the wish and having the power and having the knowledge to fix, then if we ask such a person to fix our car, then definitely that person can solve our problem. That person can fix our own car. So that is one of the example of worldly refuge. So when we have such kind of problem, then we cannot solve by ourselves, then we need to ask someone else to solve or fix it. That is also known as worldly refuge. So then within the worldly refuge also, there are many different kinds of worldly refuge, and then the beyond worldly refuge or super mundane refuge, that also has like Saravaka's refuge, Patika Buddha race refuge, and Mahayana refuge. And then within the Mahayana also, there are Paramitayana refuge and Vajrayana refuge. And then within the Vajrayana also, there are different kinds of refuge like Kirya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Anatara Yoga Tantra, and within the Paramitayana also there are Madhyamika tradition refuge, and Chitamatra or mind only school tradition refuge. So there are many different kinds of refuge. So here we are talking about the Mahayana refuge in general. Mahayana means greater vehicle that covers both Paramitayana and Vajrayana. Mahayana is a general that has two divisions, which are known as Paramitayana and Vajrayana. But nowadays, people used to say Paramitayana as Mahayana, and people just say Vajrayana. Actually, Mahayana is a general name that covers both Paramitayana and the Vajrayana. So Vajrayana is also part of Mahayana. And generally, the Mahayana refuge has four.
En términos generales, el refugio en el Mahayana tiene cuatro puntos.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear? Okay. So Mahayana refuge has four special qualities or characters. So the special character from the cause point of view is that actually Mahayana refuge has three causes: fear, faith, and compassion. Fear and faith are general Buddhist cause of refuge. Every Buddhist refuge has these two as a cause of taking refuge. So the great compassion is the special cause of refuge, or this is the uncommon Mahayana cause of refuge. So from the special cause point of view, then compassion is the special cause, special character of the refuge. Then from the special character of object point of view, actually all the Buddhists take refuge in the triple gem. But Charvakas and Patikas, their main refuge is not the Buddha. They take refuge mainly in Sangha or Dharma. But Mahayana, in the Mahayana tradition, or according to the Mahayana, the main refuge is Buddha. Then along with Buddha, they take refuge, or we take refuge in the Dharma and Sangha. And from the third special character is from the time point of view. The Charvakas and Patika followers, they take refuge until the end of this life. But according to the Mahayana, we take refuge until we reach the enlightenment state, or until we ourselves becomes Buddha. And then the fourth special character is from the purpose point of view. So according to the Mahayana teaching, the purpose of taking refuge is not for oneself, or not for a few beings, or not for fellow Buddhists, or not only for fellow Buddhists, or not only for all the people from the same country or same nation, etc. But the purpose of taking refuge is for the sake of all the sentient beings of the samsara, or all the sentient beings. So these four are the special characters. So in short, special character from the cause point of view means the great compassion. Special character of object point of view means taking refuge mainly in the Buddha. And special character of time means taking refuge until we reach enlightenment state. And special character or purpose means taking refuge for the sake of all the sentient beings without any exception or any discrimination. Then the next is who takes refuge? Who is the one that takes refuge? If we think, when we take refuge, if we think, I'm the only one that takes refuge, then it is not right. In the Mahayana tradition, when we take refuge or when I take refuge, I should think I myself, along with all the sentient beings, all of us, all the beings are taking refuge, and all of them are in the form of precious human life. So this is to make an auspicious sign for every sentient being to obtain the precious human life in the future, so that all the beings can have the best chance or best opportunity to practice Dharma, because precious human life is the best body or life to practice the precious and profound Dharma. So when we take refuge, we should think, I take refuge along with all the beings, and at one's own right side, there's our present life's father, and on our left side, there's our present life's mother, and then in our front or in front of us, there's enemies or hateful ones, and also evil spirits and demons. And we are surrounded by all the sentient beings of the six realms, and all of them are in the form of precious human life. As I mentioned earlier, this is to make auspicious sign for all the beings to obtain the precious human life, so that all the beings can really practice the Buddha Dharma. So this is the one who takes refuge. And now, cause of refuge. How important is the cause? Generally speaking, every compound things are depending on its own cause and condition. For example, if you plant a sound seed of flower in the fertile ground, then after that, we need to look after it by having the right condition, such as the right moisture, right fertilizer, and right amount of water at the right time. And if we have all these right conditions, hello, can you hear? Okay, if we have all these right conditions, then definitely we can have the result, which is the flower. We will have a flower. So if this seed of the flower is scorched by fire or is rotten, then no matter how much effort that we put after planting such seed, it won't yield a sound result, or it won't have a good flower, because the seed itself has a problem. So whether we can have good result or not depends on the seed, depends on the cause. So similarly, whether we can practice the refuge in a proper way or not depends on whether we have the right cause of taking refuge or not. So to have the right cause is very important. Through the cause, then we can have the right result, which is the genuine practice of refuge. And the cause also has three kinds: fear, faith, and compassion. Fear means fear of experiencing the suffering of samsara, or fear of having the selfish thought, which are the cause of suffering. I won't go through details because of the timing, but these are the common fears that we have, which are the cause of taking refuge. And then the second main cause is faith. Faith means we really believe in the infinite qualities of the Buddha, and we are really impressed by the infinite qualities of the Buddha. We really wish to have the same qualities for the sake of all the sentient beings. So these are known as the faith. And then the third main cause is compassion, the great compassion. So great compassion means wishing all the sentient beings to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. But just by having this wish, we cannot liberate all the beings. So after having this thought of compassion, then we must act on this, and we must take refuge based on such compassionate thought. So these three, fear, faith, and compassion, are the three causes or the reasons why we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, or the Triple Gem. So it is said in the teaching that if we take refuge without cause or without logical reasons, then it won't become effective. It is not an effective refuge. Such refuge will not make great impact. Such refuge will not have very effective results because we don't have the genuine cause of taking refuge. So in order to have a very effective practice of refuge, first and foremost, we must have the cause of refuge, as I mentioned earlier. And now the next one, actually there are three objects: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So temporarily, there are three objects. So Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, or the three objects, are temporary objects. Or temporarily, there are three different kinds of objects, which are known as Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. But ultimate object of refuge is one, which is only Buddha. Our ultimate object of refuge is only Buddha. So our ultimate refuge is Buddha. Object of refuge is Buddha. And then actually Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are the three objects. Temporarily, we have these three objects of refuge. And first, what is Buddha? Or what Buddha means? Buddha means the most excellent being who has removed all the obscurations, negative actions, afflictive emotions, and sufferings, and the one who has all the ultimate qualities such as ultimate happiness, ultimate knowledge, ultimate wisdom, ultimate compassion, ultimate power, and all the ultimate qualities. Actually, in the Madhyamika Avatara, the great Acharya Chandrakirti said, for example, the birds fly in the sky, and after a while, the birds will land on the ground. When birds land on the ground, it does not mean all this space is exhausted. Now there's no more space to fly. It is not because of this. It is because the energy of birds to fly has been exhausted. That's why the birds need to land on the ground or land on the roof or tree or somewhere. So similarly, when a person like us explains about the qualities of the Buddha, and after a while or after 1-2 hours, then we conclude talking about Buddha's qualities. At that time, it does not mean we have explained all the qualities of the Buddha, but it means we as an ordinary human being knows only that much of Buddha's infinite qualities. So Buddha's qualities are infinite, just like space. The space has no limits. Similarly, Buddha's quality also has no limits. So Buddha has infinite qualities or limitless qualities. If I say part of that quality, then I can say that Buddha's physical body is something that we cannot realize. In ancient time, there's one bodhisattva known as Shukchang. His name was Shukchang. And he tried to see, or he tried to understand the end of Buddha's protuberance. So for that, he went not only on the top of the mountain, but also he went to the Deva's realm or God's realm. From there, he wanted to see the end of the protuberance or the tip of the protuberance. But even from there, he cannot see the tip of the protuberance. So this is one of the physical qualities of the Buddha. And also, Buddha can manifest, or Buddha can emanate in many different forms at the same time. And also Buddha can emanate in different kinds of forms, can emanate in the form of different animals, and also can emanate or can manifest in the form of inanimate objects like boat, bridge, etc. And also can emanate in the form of human beings, like ordinary human beings, or in the form of bodhisattva or Dharma king or any other form of human being. And also the most excellent emanation or the most excellent manifestation of the Buddha is the Buddha Nirmanakaya or the Buddha Shakyamuni. Actually, all these are part of Nirmanakaya, but the most excellent Nirmanakaya or most excellent manifestation of Buddha is the Shakyamuni. First experienced that, but then later became Buddha Shakyamuni. That is the most excellent manifestation. And the quality of Buddha's voice is that when Buddha gives teaching, if we listen from near, we will not hear so loud. The volume of the sound is not so loud. And at the same time, if a person listens from thousands and thousands of miles away, still they can hear the Buddha's sound without any mic or any other equipment. Still they can hear the same volume of sound, same as the one who listens from near, without any mic or speaker or anything. And also, Buddha's one voice can be heard by different disciples in their own language and also in their own subjects. Whatever subject that they want to listen, they can hear that particular subject in their own language at the same time. So we can say Buddha's one voice can teach all the different yanas of teachings through Buddha's one voice at the same time to different followers. And Buddha's quality of wisdom is that Buddha knows everything. Buddha is omniscient. For example, we know cause and effect, like by planting a seed, one can get crops. So we know such thing. We know the gross part of cause and effect, but we don't know the subtle part of the cause and effect, such as why some fruits are in yellow color, some in red color, or some in green color, etc. And why some has sweet taste, some has sour, and some has different tastes. And why some are big, some are small, why some have this size or some have that size. So different fruits have different sizes, different taste, different shape, different color, etc. We don't know all these reasons. For example, why some are big size, some are small size. As for why all the fruits are not in the same size or not in the same taste or not in the same color or not in the same shape. We don't know all these reasons or we don't know all these causes. But Buddha knows all these. This is just an example. Actually, Buddha knows all the cause and effect. Buddha knows which was our past life and which will be our future life. Not only that, but Buddha will know in details on our lives, family, friends of past, and family, friends of future lives, and all these details, etc. And also, Buddha has the ultimate knowledge on the view, on the ultimate view. So Buddha has the ultimate wisdom, ultimate quality of knowledge. Then how we take refuge to the Buddha is through fear, faith, and compassion. And then also there are two other objects of refuge in general, which are known as Dharma and Sangha. Dharma means a method that can transform our ordinary thoughts into wisdom, that can make the sentient beings into Buddha, that can liberate us from the ocean of samsara, ocean of suffering. So Dharma is the method. Dharma is the remedy or the antidote that will remove or pacify all the obscurations, sufferings, etc., and that will help us to gain the attainments, all the attainments, all the temporary and ultimate attainments. In general, there are two kinds of Dharma, teaching and realization. Teaching means like Buddha's teachings and also the teachings of great masters and our gurus. And realization means through the practice of these authentic teachings, we can gain experience, we can gain the inner realization, and that part is known as the realization. And then there's a Sangha. Sangha actually means the followers of the Buddha. So Sangha has 4 different types of Sangha. The male and female lay followers, and the male and female celibate followers or monks and nuns. And within these 4 types of followers, there are different levels of different levels of the Sangha, like followers or the Sanghas who are in the path of accumulation, Sanghas who are on the path of accumulation, or who are on the path of application. So those who are on these 2 paths are known as the ordinary Sanghas of 4 types. Then those who are on the path of seeing or path of meditation are known as the noble Sanghas. Those who are already on the bhumis are known as the noble Sanghas. So path of seeing is the first bhumi, and path of meditation is from 2nd bhumi to the 10th bhumi are known as the path of meditation. So within these 4 paths, path of accumulation, path of application, path of seeing, and path of meditation, within these 4 paths also there are different levels in general. And then next, how we take refuge is that first we need to visualize the object of refuge or the refuge field in front of us in the space above, which is around the level of our own eyes. At that level in front of us in the sky, we should visualize the object, the refuge field. So first we should visualize a jewel throne lifted by 8 lines, 2 each from the 4 directions. And on the throne, there's a lotus flower on that, there's a full moon disk on that. We should visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, the real one, not just an imagination, but the real Shakyamuni, who is the combination of all the Buddhas. We should think in this way. And then behind the Buddha, we should visualize the Buddha's realization or Buddha's qualities in the form of Dharma scriptures, pile of Dharma scriptures behind the Buddha in a well-decorated form, or beautifully decorated Dharma scriptures, pile of them. And then they are surrounded by the noble bodhisattvas or the noble sanghas, such as Arya Manjushri, Arya Avalokiteshvara, or the Generesic, and Vajapani, Samantapatra, and other noble sanghas. So this is the common or the general object of refuge or general refuge field. So today I'm teaching in a general way or in a common way. So when we take refuge to Buddha, we should think this is the one that shows us the path. And when we take refuge in the Dharma, so when we take refuge in the Buddha, we focus on Buddha Shakyamuni and think that this is the one that shows us the path. When we take refuge in the Dharma, we focus on the pile of Dharma books and think that these are the real path or the actual path. And when we take refuge in the Sangha, we focus on the noble Sanghas and think that they are our spiritual companions. And whatever situation that we may face in our life, whether we have good time or bad time, whether we are happy or not, whatever feelings that we have in our life, whatever situation that we may face in our life, we shall always generate sincere faith and devotion, and through such faith and devotion, we should always take refuge. If we take refuge when we are happy, and if we forget to take refuge when we are, no, if we take refuge when we are not happy, and if we forget to take refuge when we are happy with the mundane things, then it is not right. Then it means our faith is shakeable. We don't have unshakable faith. So what we need is unshakable faith. Whatever situation that we may face, we should always generate the sincere faith and devotion. And through such faith and devotion, we should always take refuge, no matter whatever situation that we may face in our lifetime. And then next one is, so after knowing all this, then we should take refuge vow through spiritual master or through proper shrine, through proper rituals. Then we should take refuge vow. And after taking refuge vow, then we will get great benefit. After taking the genuine refuge vow or proper refuge vow or pure refuge vow, then there's a great benefit. In the sutra, Buddha said, if the benefit of taking refuge vow is, or has, if the benefit of taking refuge vow has a physical form, then the whole universe is too small to contain it. So it means taking genuine refuge vow has infinite or unbelievable benefits or limitless benefits. Then the next one is the precepts. After taking refuge vow, then we should follow the rules of the vow, or of the refuge vow. There are general refuge rules and specific refuge rules or the precepts. First, the general ones means we should rely on authentic masters and listen to authentic teachings, and we should rely on spiritual friends, not bad friends that can influence us to do many negative things, not that kind of friends, but we should rely on good friends, good Dharma friends, good spiritual friends that can help us to improve our Dharma practice, that can help us to move forward on the Buddhist path. So we need to rely on such genuine spiritual friends or Dharma friends. And also try to lead others on the right path. And also, we should not let our mind to distract. We should try to protect our mind from distraction towards or distracting towards negative things or negative actions. And we should have genuine compassion practice towards all the sentient beings. And we should put effort to make offerings to the Triple Gem, like offering flowers and other offering objects. When we offer, we can do actual offerings like making offerings of flowers, etc. And also we should do mental offerings. Mental offering means thinking the whole space is filled by all these offering objects. The two in good quality, the most excellent qualities of the offering objects, which are filled all this sky or all this space. And such offering objects should also offered to the triple gem. So we should do actual offering and also mental offering with the right motivation. And then try to receive vows as much as possible, like refuge vow, bodhicitta vow, etc. And then there are specific, and also whatever situation that we may face in our life, we should never give up taking refuge. So we should keep this refuge vow like keeping our life. So for us, we should keep refuge vow just like we keep our life, or we protect our life, or we care about our own life. Just like our dear life, we should also keep the refuge vow as dear as our own life. Whatever situation that we may face, we should never give up taking refuge in the triple gem. And then there are specific rules, which means after taking refuge in the Buddha, we should not take refuge in the mundane gods as our ultimate refuge, or as our spiritual refuge. And after taking refuge in the Dharma, we should not harm anybody or any sentient beings. We should respect all the sentient beings without any exception. So even we need to respect our own family members. So we should not quarrel or fight against each other within the family, or with other people, or with other beings, or with any beings. We should not beat or fight or harm them. So we should not harm any sentient beings. And after taking refuge in the Sangha, we should not make non-Buddhists as our spiritual friends. Although we can make ordinary friends or worldly friends, but we should not make spiritual friends or Dharma friends. So then the next one, after taking refuge vow, then one will become Buddhist, and one will be a part of Buddhist family, and also one becomes object of receiving respect and veneration and offerings from other human beings and gods. And by taking refuge, ultimately we will become Buddha. Or by taking refuge, eventually we will become Buddha. And also there are many other temporary benefits. So with this, I conclude my short talk on refuge on this very special occasion of Lord Shakyamuni Buddha. And at the end, I sincerely wish that may the blessings of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha be with you now and always. And at last, we all should sincerely pray for our root gurus, long life, good health, and turn the wheel of Dhamma far and wide always. Thank you.